Welcome to Macro Crest, where we focus on fundamentals for our directional bias and technicals for our entries. And last week was a solid one. We had interest rate decisions by a whole lot of banks. We saw cutting, we saw the pound holding, the dovish sentiment. We had the USD cutting with the bullish to a neutral sentiment and all that. So this week we have the focus for next week is FOMC members. Powell will be giving a speech. Follow up of the recent cut which had happened. We will have the PCE, and then we will have a lot of PMIs from Australia, Japan, UK, and Europe generally. And also in the meantime, we'll be looking at monetary policy decisions, China, Switzerland, Sweden, and all that. And then we've got this geopolitical issues as the UN Assembly trying to take a look at this global politics. So nothing much. First of all, it was a fantastic week. Volatility came in. So this week, what we've got on the Dixie, I'm still bearish on the Dixie actually. Still on this my analysis. Still bearish on it. The only issue I have with this is if it doesn't close below, um, due to the fact that the Fed were a little bit bullish, and we might see some bullish sentiment coming into the market. So there might be longs, but I'm still expecting a short down. Okay, and then for this reason, going to the chart, I know I have my Aussie strength, I have my intraday weakness, I have my cat weakness but short term kind of strength, and then we have the euro strength, we have the pound weakness, we have the Swiss neutral to bullish strength. So what we've got here is not this Aussie card is out of the picture. Aussie Swiss is kind of in the picture. Why it's in the picture is the weekly is ranging to being bullish. What we have is this high, we have this low, we have this high, and then this is a low in a sense. And what I have here is this high, low, high, and then this. So I'm looking at the potential to push to the upside, or we might short upon weakness in the Swiss. Or is kind of strong, but what is it strong against? Yen is kind of, we had a bearish sentiment in their interest rate decision, but what I'm seeing here is quite nice. We have this high, we have this low, we have this high, we have this low. So this is a high. Potentially we're looking for a low. That's on a technical standpoint. And if it is bearish, what we are looking out for is shorts, which we had the shorts last week. So I'll be expecting more shorts, but the question is from where. This was a good short break, so if we have this pullback, we look for lower time frame confirmations down there. But the main question is where is the target? If we're looking at this on the weekly time frame, our zone should be somewhere here on the daily. Let's have a look where we might be targeting, because this is already taken, this zone is taken already, so it should come, this should be a liquidity area. That's for Aussie yen, that's what I'm looking at. But the Aussie, the yen is, if the yen is strong, then we can look at that, but Aussie is kind of strong. But if the Aussie yen is stronger than Aussie, then if you look at the USD yen is showing us potentially it might be going to the upside. Okay, so let's take out everything and look at this. You're bearish, right? Let's assume we are bearish. We're looking at this structure. This is high, this is a low. This is a high, this is a low. We expected a high, so it didn't. We're supposed to take out this point to get to a point before pushing to the upside to complete that range, but unfortunately it didn't. So this point is holding, and you go to your daily time frame. The structure here is a high, a low, and then we have this high. We expected a low at this demand, at that demand, to continue to the upside. So this would have been a wonderful one, but probably it grabs this entire liquidity. Before now we can look at longs. So not the best of setups for me, but if the yen is weaker against the dollar, then it means that all this Aussie USD is going to be to the downside. And structurally, if we can see this, let's take this out. If we can see this, what we do have is we have our high, we have our low. This is a potential higher high, so we're looking for a higher low, and I can't see anything. The only thing I'm seeing is this potential demand, but the extreme demand is the main point. So we might have shorts here before we can say we are longing for any reason. So that's what I'm seeing for that. Looking at the card yen is giving me a bullish vibes. We have this, it's a downtrend actually, or we can say this is a liquidity grab, so it should push to the upside. So looking at it from the daily time frame, we have this structure, we have this structure here, we have this point here. So if this is a breakout structure pullback, we're seeing momentum to push to the upside. So we might say it's bullish, but I'll just look for confirmations to push the price to the upside. As Swiss yen, we can use this to confirm, so nothing is clear. So remember, the euro is strong, so if the euro is strong, is it stronger than Aussie? That is the question. It's not clean, so it's not my kind of setup. But euro card, then we can short this. There will be potential shots from here down. As we can see, it's very clear. We have our high, we have our low, we have our high, so we're looking for a low. And 4 hours broke structure to the downside, so potentially we're expecting a push to short. It's clear. And then the euro yen, as we can see, is not so clear. So we have this breakout structure, we have this range. So is it going to continue from here? If yes, no problem. But if it's going to come down, then all this might be taken out. So we'll be seeing something from here. And then finally on the euro end, okay, sorry, not finally. The EU. So this is what I'm looking at. If this is going to push to the upside, it would be fantastic. Been taking the shots down. So the question here is, as you can see, it's bullish. So This is the last structure point. I'm expecting price to push higher, but we would wait for confirmation. If it should break this other point here, this would be the best area of continuation for EU. And then going to the pound, we have weakness in Aussie is stronger than the pound, definitely. So where are we shorting this guy to is here. Structurally, what do we have? We have a high, we have a high, we have a low. So we are playing in this range. This is an internal structure point, so we should see something like this. We're going to this, we had this range, we have this range here, and this is too high. So if that is the case, we definitely should see this. Going to the daily, we have this other range here, we have this, we have this, and now we have this. So we expect continuation to the downside before we can say we're looking for pullbacks. For this reason, the 4 hours, this is already the range selling in. This is going to the downside. We've been long to this. Now we have a break. Expect pullbacks to push. So this is a very high probability for the week. Pound card is similar, but the only problem is this divisional point of demand, and then we have a pound switch, which is very good. We've been following this up for quite some time. We have this structure range, and then this is a new range formed. Could we have a push here to short to be perfect? So the pound is very weak. Pound yen, it's not too clear as to where it will be heading to, but note we have a break of structure. So on this time frame, so if we have a push here, we might end up at 197 area, and then pound NZD on the weekly it's bullish, right? This is bullish, but on the daily, what we do have is, can we consider this a high and this a low? If yes, okay. Or can we consider this a potential complex pullback? If yes, not bad. Even with that, this is the break of this structure, so the potential of it heading down here is high. So the pound, then we can work with the final guy on the pound list, which as we can see we're bullish, but we just created a higher high. And we've had break of structures like the first one we had here, then we had this low, then we had this, and now we have this push. Looking at this, this is the first break of structure, so this is the range we're looking at, and we're expecting price coming all the way down here. If that should work. And then on the 4 hours, we have these points as a high, we have this as our low, we have this as a high. So potentially we should see a push from here, but the question is it going to hold? If we see a push here, we might see shots from here. Why? Because the pound is weak. because of their tax issues. And NZD card looks fantastic. On the weekly time frame, what we do have is it's bearish. Why is it bearish? If you look at this, we are bearish. Looking at this on the daily, we have this break of structure here from this point. So this is the range we're working with. Expecting price to hit lower, so we expect a push to short on the 1 hour time frame, and the 4 hours we might get a very good area or shorts. Of course, we have our supply area here, which I'm anticipating a push to the downside from there to break this area of demand. And Swiss is still bearish. One of our high probabilities, it is bearish, so Swiss showing Swiss strength. Shows us the pound Swiss, so we have this break. This is our range that was in play, and now we have a new range. Potentially we would see a push one time, and then we can start looking for shorts again on this. NZD yen does bearish, so yen is potentially showing strength. We can short from there down, and let's just look at a few. This also, I'm looking at shorts. Why? Because this is our range. So if this is a potential lower low to create a lower high to create a lower low and continue the downtrend. But if it's not, you can say this is a grab of liquidity, so we might potentially be looking at longs from here. Why? Because of a potential bullish and weak USD, but unfortunately there is no weak USD, so I expect this to take it lower. That's just it, to create a new lows on that. USD Swiss, I'm looking at short, but I'm skeptical. So this is the only reason why I'm looking at short. Is this is our range of play, and we are in here already. I'm in this position already, so expecting it to go lower. And that's all I've got for gold. Yeah, got into this position earlier, I think on Thursday or Friday. Sorry. Still expecting a push in gold. It's just very clear. So the question is where, because if we have this as a range and we see a deep pullback in, this would be fantastic. Let's just hope for the best.